Hey, it's Rick Mazick at Network Funding, and I wanted to reach out with a quick message because the phone was ringing off the hook, text messages like crazy because they lowered rates yesterday. Hey, I heard they lowered rates yesterday. The Federal Reserve lowered the Fed funds rate. The Fed funds rate is basically the nickname for it is the overnight banking rate. And it's basically because that's the rate of interest that's used by banks that loan each other money overnight. It predominantly happens where East Coast banks close, they loan money to West Coast banks, they pay it back the next day, and vice versa. So that's what that rate does. Where it has an immediate impact are things like your savings account, CDs, even home equity lines of credit, because when prime moves, or excuse me, when the Fed funds rate moves, prime usually moves, and that has an effect on your home equity line of credit. Not necessarily long-term mortgages. The Fed fund rate is a short-term interest rate. 30-year fixed mortgages, that's a long-term interest rate. Those are dictated by what the mortgage bond market is doing. And as a matter of fact, this is what the mortgage bond market looked like right after the announcement. You may not know what this chart means, but red's not a good color. So in a situation like this anyway. But at the end of the day, rates are good. All right. Once the rumor mill kicks in that rates are going to be cut, that the Fed's going to lower the Fed funds rate, rates start to come down in preparation for that. So the day that the announcement actually happens, we call that the rate being baked in. It's already there in anticipation of that announcement. The commentary that comes after that is what can affect what happens to the bond market that day. And if there's an announcement that there's no more rates cuts coming or X number of rate cuts coming, that will play a role in what happens that day. Saying rates came down and you're expecting mortgage rates to go down is like saying the price of apples went down and you expect fruit to be a lower price. It's not apples and oranges, pun intended. So that's a quick definition of what happened yesterday with the Fed funds rate, or excuse me, it is the Fed funds rate. Rates went down. That's where we are today. Rates have been coming down. It's a good time to look into getting pre-approved or refinance. Talk to you soon. Peace.